Court?
I thought that there was a small contingent, like a fraction of the 8,500 that would be part of the unilateral, and that, but now it's, so now is all 8,500 would be potentially.
I mean, as I said back then, the vast majority of that 8,500 were for the NATO response
But then
force.
there's some in addition to that now, according.
There are some forces that are being put on heightened alert here in the United States that could be used in a more unilateral way, or a bilateral way is really the best way to put that. But again, I just don't have anything specific to speak to. The vast majority of the ones we've already talked to are designed for the NATO response force.
So I'm just trying to understand if we're talking about now more than 8,500 that are on prepare to deploy for both, when you consider both the NATO and the unilateral. Am I misunderstanding it?
I don't know. I think I'm misunderstanding it.
There's 8,500. The vast majority would go to the NATO response force if it's activated. Yeah. There's a fraction of those, some portion of those that would potentially be used unilaterally.
Potentially, yeah.
But then there's an even additional, beyond that, who might be used unilaterally. Is that what?
Yeah, but what I'm talking about, in answer to Jeff's question, is they could come from inside the European continent as it is, and General Walters can make decisions about whether to, put them on a heightened alert or not. And obviously, he's working his way through those kinds of decisions right now. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to bilateral agreements or arrangements with NATO allies, if they need additional capabilities, if they would want that, then we would work it out individually with each nation to make sure that we're meeting the need as best they desire and can accommodate. And some of those needs, and again, I've said this before, will likely come from actually on the continent. You don't have to necessarily deploy from the States. But we want to keep as many options available to us as possible. And a lot of that, Court, will be, quite frankly, the decision about who goes and how many and where from will actually come from these discussions with the allies themselves. What do you need? What do you think, what would be most helpful to you? And how fast do you need it? And how long do you want it? And all those kinds of things would be settled on an individual basis with each of these countries.